Pubcasts around. Grab a cold one, sit back, and enjoy the show. This is Corner Pub Sports.
Hey, this is Brett Myers. You're listening to Corner Pub Sports.
We'll do it live. Fuck it.
Corner Pub Sports.
Fuck with my ass, man. Shit.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to a special Saturday edition of Corner Pub Sports. Yes, sir. We are streaming the Back to the Beginning concert in the background, so any extra noise you hear, too bad.
We are witnessing heavy metal history.
Yes, sir.
Like this is going to go down in the history books.
Yes, sir. Yep. So Ryan, Gary, myself, Sean, and Michael will be joining us momentarily. We actually did an impromptu, we're starting now kind of thing because of the way that the show schedule is going. We don't want to miss certain bands. I don't really want to miss not the next band's all right, but the one after that I don't really care about missing. But we might have to. We'll still have it
she
on.
Was naked.
It would be better, yeah. Hailstorm. So back to the beginning, man. I guess we can start with that because we all have a story about Black Sabbath and how it got you into heavy metal music, and we're all metalheads here, and those who aren't may not understand completely what this means, but this is literally the Live Aid for heavy metal fans. Yep. This concert today, which is Ozzy's last show, Black Sabbath's last show ever.
Did you hear that there's rumors that they might? I mean, they're not going to tour, but they might record another album.
Yeah.
Well, Ozzy said, just because I'm not touring anymore doesn't mean I'm done with music.
Yeah, like if he stops, he's going to die.
Yeah. No, it's true. He's What? You all right? You're getting
you're 3 sips in. You're getting emotional already.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Mike just got back to me. I can't read what he said though.
Did he text just you or?
I think just me. Yeah. He said, let me see. He I can't fucking read this. What? He said the following.
Oh, I'm gonna come.
He said he's gonna come, but a little bit later. I gotta fix this display here. Anyway, so do you guys have a Black Sabbath, special Black Sabbath story that you want to share?
I mean, there's so many.
Yeah, bro.
There's so many. There we go. I mean, I was thinking about it today. Like, I've been a fan of Black Sabbath, my favorite all-time group, 45 fucking years, man. And one, like, a lot of my memories revert back to my dad, but the one memory I have, like, I was 8 years old. And I'm talking to my dad about music, and he's talking about heavy rock, and I'm talking about, hey, you ever heard of Black Sabbath? He giggles. He says, yeah. And he says, check this out. And he hands me the Master of Reality album on vinyl.
Yeah.
And he puts it on. My mom wasn't home. He puts it on. We're rocking out. My mom comes in. She looks at my dad, looks at me. She says, I can't do this again. And that's where, from there, that's where I was a fan of Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
My father. And he said, I learned about them when I was in Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
He says, the black guys would come in and say, what are you playing? He says, well, wait a minute, listen to this. And then, the blues would start with Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
They're like, all right, that's not bad.
It's pretty cool, though, man. Your dad was in the Black Sabbath. Like, that's pretty awesome.
Yes.
Your dad's
75.
75 years old. I mean, yeah, it's not completely. Cause I'm thinking my mom's 64, right? She's into them. So, yeah, it's not completely out of the realm.
It's the same age group.
Yeah, it's pretty close. Yeah.
Is your mom watching this?
No, she's up here. Sorry, Jay. You took a trip down to Florida for no reason. No, she's up here because she's going with us next week to Netherlands. Mm-hmm. So, but she's staying with my sister right now. They're doing all kinds of different stuff today.
Gotcha.
Yeah. What about you?
It's almost the same thing, except it came from my brother. I guess I was about 10. He hands me the Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath album. Changed my life. Yeah. Like up to that point, I was more, not gonna lie, like I was leaning Michael Jackson, Billy Joel, like always loved music, but that's kind of stuff I was listening to.
Introduced them to marijuana and Black Sabbath.
Yeah, pretty much.
You are my sweet lady.
Yeah. So I did, from the opening note of that Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, changed my life, my life. And then
that's a very good album.
And then it
Manson.
Welcome to this celebration.
That's pretty cool. Manson doing a whole thing.
When I was a kid growing up in Christian school,
That awkward.
Yeah.
Pause.
So-
Of course, that's the first thing that I did.
That's pretty awesome, man.
I didn't think that I grew up later to end up sharing a stage with Ozzy and Black Sabbath, or become friends with Ozzy. So it is a great honor to be here via this video.
That's cool.
And I'd like to say congratulations, and I love you very much, Ozzy.
He's on tour. That's why he can't do his thing. Yeah.
So like changed my life. Anybody that's followed this knows Sean and I, our favorite band's Metallica. But like, I really don't think it would have opened the door for me to hear Metallica if I wouldn't have heard that album. Like, it just changed my life. And then just a side note of that, like seeing them in '99 on the reunion tour. Like Ozzy still had it. I just floored.
Yeah.
Like one of the few times I've been absolutely floored at a show.
You're welcome. I'm glad I could share that.
Go fuck yourself.
Absolutely.
So yeah, just again, just a beeline into my DNA, man.
Yeah. Mine, my earliest memory is a music memory. Like one of my earliest memories is a music memory, and it involves Ozzy. I would go over to my grandfather's house. My uncle then was, I don't know, he's 11. So he's probably 13, 14 years old. And I would go over and say, I want to hear Iron Man. I just love, like, he would play it, and I fell in love with it. Like,
Wow.
I was like 3 years old.
Wow.
Iron Man, Iron Man,
Yeah.
Iron Man. And I remember sitting there in his room with him listening to Iron Man. And I love the beat. Like,
Oh,
just love the
that's
beginning.
funny, not to cut, but
Yeah.
like I remember being in the car with my dad and that song being on, and like, you know, I was still young, but like connecting the song, knowing I heard it before, liking it, but like not knowing exactly what it was.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah. So that's my earliest memory, and I didn't get to see Ozzy until 2013. I saw Sabbath. Actually, I saw
the
them
13 tour.
2013, and that was great. It was a good show. He was struggling then,
Right.
to get on stage. So I don't know
He
how
pulled it off, though.
Yeah, he did.
He did. He pulled
They
it off.
sounded great. They played for 2 hours, All right, so why don't we get to some sports stuff?
Great stuff, guys.
Yeah. Sorry, this is going to be an abbreviated show. We don't want to miss too much, but we wanted to do a show for you guys. It's been a little bit, so. You want to start with Phillies? We'll start with the Phillies and then go into the draft stuff. All right.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
So right now, I mean, they're playing decent ball. There's obviously there's still chinks in the armor, but the thing I wanted to focus on about with the Phillies is that starting rotation. They're just, if Luzardo can fix his deal, they just sent McAble down. Taijuan Walker's in the starting rotation, so we know how that's going to go.
That's only for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
it's after the All-Star break. You'll get Nola back. And they're bringing Painter up after the All-Star break.
Painter's going to be coming up.
But Luzardo, like in the beginning of the season, led the league in strikeouts. But he's thrown a lot of pitches.
Right, even the games he was dominating. Like
he's thrown a lot of pitches.
He'd get in the 6 innings, have 8, 9 strikeouts, 1 walk, but he's got 114 pitches.
Right. Is his arm rubber?
I know this year so far he's pitched more innings than he has last year and the year before.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying combined, but like he's healthier longer this year than he was the previous 2 years. So his arm may start becoming so that if any of them get moved to the bullpen, I think it's him.
Yeah, I think that makes the most sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I easily. So, but you clean that up a little bit. Like, if you can clean up that rotation a little bit, and which has been great already. Just real quick, Philly. Good morning, gentlemen. Don't forget those Air Woodies in the Netherlands, Sean. Jacob Miller said, first time I heard Ozzy was a kid listening to Osmosis. Every time I hear a song off that album, I think of him. with my dad. So
yeah,
okay.
man.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
man. That's what, in my opinion, probably his best.
One of his
solo album.
best. Yeah. And then Philly, Luzardo may not being the closer. I can see that. Like,
Yeah.
I can definitely see. And we talked about that a couple weeks ago.
Like, move him to the bullpen.
He was the guy to me that made the most sense to go to the bullpen. He's got the stuff. I just don't think. I think Luzardo's issue is the innings. He hasn't pitched this many innings in a long time.
Right.
And he's already reached that max of what he had last year, and now he started to struggle.
Right.
And that's why I'm kind of like, I think he's just out of his realm right now. I think he's, like you said, starting to get that rubber arm effect and worn down. So,
and I was having this conversation with my brother yesterday. We had a barbecue at my parents' house, and I'm on the thought process like now, the way this starting rotation has been, it's like becoming historic, especially the top three guys with Wheeler, Suarez, and Sanchez.
They're unbelievable.
Right. So my thought process is, and it's funny, Drunk Phil fans posted something like this, like as I was already thinking, like I'm not stealing it from them, but anyway, I want to give them credit. But I'm thinking there's not enough moves you're going to be able to do to make this lineup significantly better.
No, you're not.
Right.
You're not.
So I'm thinking maybe bring Crawford up, give him a shot in center because they need an outfielder. And then do what you got to do to sew up that bullpen. Make the moves for the bullpen. And because with this rotation, if you got to shut down bullpen, it's going to be hard to score 3 runs on this pitching staff in the playoffs. So that's where I'm at. Just beef up the pitching staff.
But
maybe bring Crawford up.
What player are you using to get a team to bite, to take you over that edge?
Well, if you move Luzardo back there, and I'd part with Aiden Miller. I'm not parting with Crawford. I'd part with McAble, even though his trades value has plummeted.
Well, he's a young pitcher.
Right, but right now, no one's going to trade for him. Give you what you need for him. You know what I mean?
I mean, the next logical thing, like Ranger Suarez. And I think that would be a mistake.
No, see, and I was on that train. Trade him. But no, fuck it.
No,
he walks at the end of the year. Fuck it. Try to get a ring.
It would make sense to trade him because of the fact that he's on his last year. But you're not trading him. If you want to win,
you're not trading.
You're not trading him.
And if you trade him, then what?
Like if you get a huge take back, if you get an offer that's just like ridiculous, you can't refuse it.
But my point is, the offer that you would get isn't going to be significant enough to make the lineup better. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not going to get you a 40 home run guy. It's not going to get you a 300 hitter.
All right, but just hear me out.
And then if you lose him in the starting rotation, you're going with Nolan Painter?
I mean, I don't know. I'm not the GM.
Right. I'm asking your opinion, though.
No, I'm staying with Suarez.
That's right. That's what I'm saying.
I'm not trading him.
Although there's the other, Philly said thanks, appreciate it. I'm sorry, Drunk Phil's fan said that, and then Philly said I'd rather have Michael Madsen pitching out of the bullpen than any of the guys right now.
He's dead.
We got Ryan Adams going go Birds.
He's dead.
Jacob said Philly luck. They trade Ranger and it beats them in Game 7 in the World Series.
Yeah.
Ryan said I don't ever want to watch JoJo again. Oh, JoJo. Bucci saying morning fellas. Yeah, and you're going to trade him to a contender if you are. The only thing I could say, like, if you can make a trade for an outfielder, I do think it improves the offense, because if you get a 280 hitter or something like a 270 hitter who has a little bit of pop,
but
and you're not trading the house for a guy like that,
right? But you have a 280 hitter who has a little bit of pop in Castellanos, and it's not really helping.
I'm talking center field. Like, I'm okay with Castellanos. You need another center field. Like, you need a guy in center.
You need significant production out of center field or left field.
Right, Kepler.
Hey,
he comes every here and there.
He's serviceable.
All right, so your left fielder and your center fielder are
right.
Like, you need to upgrade one of those positions. So if you upgrade one of those positions, especially center to me, that bottom of the lineup all of a sudden isn't an automatic out anymore. Like, Marsh is a fucking knucklehead.
Yeah.
Rojas, is he even playing anymore? Like,
no, they're giving
rarely see him anymore.
Right.
So, like, to me, you definitely upgrade the offense if you add, because you're buying the lineup is now different.
Right.
You can't pitch around guys because now you're worried about this guy who can get on base.
So you wouldn't, like, just your opinion, you wouldn't be okay bringing Crawford up and.
So no, I wouldn't be like, if you didn't make a trade, I would do that. You
Right.
have to do something.
Right.
You're not going to win with this team. So basically, what I was getting at though, your window is closing with this core, right? Like it's not shut. It's not like over if you don't win it this year, nothing.
But it's only Fent. It's a Fent.
Yeah. Like you're
it's closed.
Wheeler, you have 2 more years with Wheeler. He already said, guys like Castellanos are probably going after next year. Schwarber, I don't know if he's back. We don't know. So, like,
I think
Phillies ain't going to pay him what he commands.
No, I think that all depends on what happens in the playoffs.
Guys like that, Turner and Harper are going to be here for a little while. Obviously, Riamoto's probably gone. So, like, you are going to be changing his core. So, like, which might not be the worst thing in the world based on what how they come through in big games. But basically, what I'm saying is, if you really feel, if you're the GM and you're sitting there going, we have a chance to win, are you not going to trade a prospect because you're worried about the future?
Right.
Well, that being said, Sean, Dombrowski's pedigree is trading young players. He hasn't done that here yet.
Right.
Yeah.
And so he may do it now.
I don't want to see Miller or Crawford go.
He may do it.
But the only one to me that's untouchable is Painter.
Yeah. And guys, I apologize. I'm slow with the comments today only because I'm not using my normal format here. Usually here on my screen,
fucking hell.
She has a hell of a voice.
She's tearing it up.
I have a screen that I can put the comments on. I can't do it here. So I'm just kind of glancing over and seeing all. So apologies if you are commenting and I'm not getting to it. Sorry.
Fuck me boots on.
Booch Bomb says be a huge blow if Kyle leaves. Absolutely. That would suck.
Right, but I'm not giving him another $100 million if they get ousted.
When he's
if they get
34 years old.
ousted in the wild card round.
No, he's 34 years old.
Right.
Like,
Now I'll give them 3 years, $100 million if they have a real good showing in the NLCS.
Yeah. Oh, they're doing Perry Mason. Nice.
Jesus.
She's gonna kill it. All right. Let's move on to the. I know
she's playing guitar too.
She can play the skin flute if she wants.
Yes, she can.
They're nailing it.
It's a shame because like she has a hell of a voice. I think
the band sucks.
Yeah, I think she just has shitty songs.
Yeah, right.
Shitty songwriting.
You're right.
Or lyrics. I should say lyrics.
Yeah, all the songs are about getting off.
Yeah. I mean,
Right, I hear you, but write something different.
Yeah.
It's a chick band, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Let's do it again. This is for Philly.
Oh, I'm gonna come.
That's for you guys.
I mean, somebody she gave it to somebody that didn't get her off.
Tight. Yeah.
No.
Damn.
So the
Christ.
NHL draft, Flyers had the draft.
Yeah, it's just so a quick semen swallowing cocksucker.
Yeah. All right, hold on. Give me a second. You got something.
Seeming swallowing cocksucker of the week. Okay. And this is why.
You cocksucker!
These knuckleheads on these Flyers fucking social media pages that fucking, what the fuck's he doing? Why did he move up for this? Why did he do this?
Yeah.
Dude, you have nothing to do with the NHL. Nothing.
Yeah.
Stop acting like a fucking twit. They got 2 really good-looking prospects in the first round. Like, isn't that what you want from your GM?
Oh, even the later rounds.
Right.
Like those players could turn out to be solid.
Right, but most of the pitching I seen came from the first round.
All right.
Why are you moving up? Because they got their ear to the ground and they heard that 13 was going to take Nesbitt.
Well, Ryan, this all happened when they drafted Michkov too.
No,
with
Michkov. Not with Michkov.
No, it didn't happen with Michkov.
No, not with
They were
Michkov.
pitching.
Maybe Konecki, maybe Morin.
No,
Why are you drafting a player that's going to stay in the KHL for 5 years?
Yeah, they were
but
mad.
they weren't mad that they drafted him. Like they weren't
They
mad
were
at
still
the talent.
bitching, is all I'm saying.
Okay.
Still bitching.
Okay.
But you're 100% right. Like every move they made, so-and-so. So the winger they got at 6 was a guy who was ranked at 3.
Porter Martone.
Everyone's list. And this kid seems to have a lot of skill.
And he was a Flyers fan growing up.
Yeah, not necessarily like a sniper, but like he's got some nifty moves. He's got a nice skill set.
They said his biggest attribute right now is he can skate and the vision. Like he sees shit before it happens. Like,
dude, you put him on a line with
him with Mishkov,
Mishkov might be
dude.
good. Yeah.
Well, did you hear the latest on him? Like he was supposed to commit to Penn State to play hockey for them. He said, "No, I'm going to move."
Yeah, because he's expecting to make the team.
He says, I want to make the team.
He wanted to stay out of those showers.
Yeah.
Needed 2 thrusts to get it in.
I think that's a little, you know.
Me
I think
personally, in the first round of draft, you're pick number 6. You got to play.
No, Garrett, no,
You should play.
it doesn't happen, man.
I know.
You know what happens if you
know.
do another
Like
turn?
me,
in the
that
jug?
happened with Mishkov.
Fuck your father in
Like
the
it's
shower and then have a snack.
generational
You're gonna
looking
charge me
players
big
that
head.
happens with, man. I think he should play in college, play in the juniors, come up in 28. That's what I think. But you know, again, I'm coming off like I'm one of them. But like I don't want to sound like one of them guys. Whatever the Flyers think is best with the kid, do.
Brian's famous quote: "I don't want to be that guy."
And I'm
I
right.
don't want to be that guy. Here's a guy.
Here's a guy. Here's a guy.
No, you're not wrong. But yeah, so then they turn around and get a big defenseman. I'm sorry, I don't have the names.
Ryan Nesbitt.
Nesbitt, yeah. You know, big dude. And they continued. They drafted a couple centers, drafted a couple more wingers, a couple more defensemen late.
Well, don't forget about the guy that they traded for before the draft.
The center from
the Ducks,
right?
Right, and they just signed 2 centers, a goalie, and a forward.
Yes.
Yeah. So and the goalie they
all
got,
veterans.
The goalie they got from the Flames. You know, nothing spectacular.
No,
but it's better than what you had here.
I don't know. See, and
he's on the same level as Urson.
Yeah, like looking in on him,
know.
dude. He's
We'll
only got an 8.92 career save
No,
percentage.
I know it's under. I know it's under 90. I saw that, and his GAA is not that great. But
right,
but
he's also been in the league a while. He's a veteran. He's been around.
Help person.
But
I mean, as far as that goes, and that being said, what Danny Briere said, he said you can when you have an NHL team, you can never have too many goaltenders.
Never, because most of them don't pan out.
He says going into training camp, he says a big thing we got to focus on and look at is the competition at goaltender.
They got to figure that out.
Yeah.
They have to, like because there's no more. Oh, let's try this guy. Let's try this guy.
You need to.
They need to figure it out because they probably make the playoffs last year with decent goaltending.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not that they would have done anything in the playoffs because they're not ready, but making the playoffs is always better than not making the playoffs, right?
Rob Spear wants to know: are you guys doing a 24-hour show? You guys still on from last night?
Yes, we are, man. Where you been?
I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
Yeah, we're still here. Dude, Lizzie Hale has an amazing voice. Like she hit some notes on that Perry Mason, like above, like glass breaking notes. Like she's fantastic.
All right, so
she might have the best female voice in rock, man.
My Seaman Swallowing cocksucker is Mike, because he can't be here when we do an early show.
Well,
on Saturday.
yeah, but it's not his. Although it is 11:30 almost. We told him 11:30 and we moved it to 11 because based on the schedule, we didn't want to miss some of the bands coming up. So
11:28 will walk in.
yeah. All right.
Where's the food?
What is vegetable tray? Bring vegetables.
So
Is
yeah,
he bringing
I mean,
a vegetable
yeah.
tray? That's cool.
What are you, a fucking rabbit?
no, I don't think he is.
No?
He's bringing hot dogs and beer.
Oh, nice.
So
Yeah, because we don't have enough of that.
Yeah. So what do you guys give the grade? I mean, based on what you know, because none of us are experts on these prospects that the Flyers drafted. But like, yeah,
I'll give him a B plus.
Yeah.
The only reason I'm not going A is because I was expecting a goalie early.
mhm.
I'll go A minus.
I'm gonna go A minus, and the only reason why I'm not surprised about a goalie is because they drafted 5 of them last year.
Right.
So like one of them has to pan out, right? Like someone has to pan out. Dude, this is pretty cool. So the way they're setting up the stage at the show, they have a rotating oval. So in the background, they're setting up the next drum rig. Then when the first band's done, the stage just rotates and the next drum kit comes out. It's pretty awesome.
But then from what I gather, from what I read, I'm not saying I know. Like, see where it says back to the beginning?
Yeah.
There's a curtain back there. That's where the stage is like unbelievably huge. And apparently that opens up for Guns N' Roses.
All right, so You want to see Lamb and God, right?
Yes, they're
so,
next.
So let's get on
Okay.
with this.
Yeah.
All right. So then we got the NBA draft. And the Sixers picked third. And why am I blanking?
VJ Edgecombe.
Thank you.
Got a Baylor.
Dude, I don't have any notes in front of me. So they take the Baylor guard. People are bitching about that.
Yeah, I think you should have took Ace Bailey. Should have took Ace Bailey.
How many guards do you need? Blah, 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 blah. Weren't we just talking about on our last show? We're talking about when's the last, because we're talking about TJ McConnell and how you don't have a backup guard. Not that Edgecombe's going to be a backup necessarily, but to me, like, I mean, there's no guarantee in what you have on the backcourt except for Maxey. So, like, why not pair him up with a guy?
Right,
who
and I'm
has
not
opportunity?
paying Quentin Grimes, who wants $25 million a year. And you look at the kid. Now, again, I know it not hard.
What do you average? 15 a game,
Right, and
at
it
Baylor?
might not transition to the NBA. I understand that, so don't come blasting me. But anyway, what the kid apparently can do, he's a spot-up shooter, so he doesn't need the ball in his hands. He shot 45% from three land in college. He's got a huge wingspan, which makes him a good perimeter defender. But it makes him a good perimeter defender. And he's got a motor and an athletic ability that doesn't stop.
So he's a 3-point shooter.
Yeah, he's a spot-up shooter. So, would you rather have Ace Bailey, who, if you ask me, is a disaster waiting to happen?
Yeah.
I like the pick. I like that.
I did too.
I thought it was a little safe, but at the same time, the Sixers are in no position to fuck this pick up again.
No,
So
they do
I think
that.
it was a good pick.
They do that. They set this franchise even further back and probably in the point of purgatory where, like, you're just rehauling everything.
Right.
I honestly don't think it makes a difference.
It probably doesn't.
Well,
with this
I don't
score,
know.
But
So someone was like, "Oh, do the Sixers have a good chance to win the East this year because of Tatum being hurt and Halliburton being hurt next year?" And I said, "Well, the worst thing the Sixers have is themselves. It's always been themselves. They've always get in their own way. It's always their injuries. It's always this, that, their woes, or whatever." So honestly, that's the case. Like, they have good coach. Like, Nick Nurse is a good coach.
he's a good. I don't care what anybody says. He's a good coach.
Their core, like, if they're healthy, they have a really good starting five.
Right, but that's
if they're 100%,
that's a
And that's
big,
the big
if.
So that's the thing.
Like I personally think George and Embiid are both cooked.
Yeah, I think they're done.
they're
Too.
old, dude.
Yeah, I think they're done too.
And the second pick, I love the second round pick, Josh Holmes,
Mm-hmm.
or not Josh Holmes.
That's
Josh Holmes, a
Josh
dude from
Holmes,
Queens of the Stone Age.
What's up,
Little
John?
sister, can't you find
What was his first name?
She got a giant dick like his cousin John.
That's John Holmes. That's John Holmes.
Anyway, the kid home out Auburn,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
he
yeah.
balled out in the tournament.
Dude, he
balled out in the tournament.
a lot of people were actually on the Sixers for that, going they might have gotten a good late
Right,
round steal.
right.
There, so, just a real quick story about Birmingham. I went to Birmingham in 2011, and went to the Rock and Roll or the Heavy Metal Museum, and they have all the Black Sabbath stuff set. I sent you some pictures. Me behind the set, Sabbath, Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath album cover, I think it was, and then Paranoid too. And it was an amazing experience. And then we saw the bridge, with all their pictures placed it, and like the history.
Yeah, where Heffield were sitting.
Yeah. I went to that bridge and all, and it was just really cool, man. Like all this stuff they had set up in Birmingham, and paid homage to their history and knowing how big of a part of history Black Sabbath has. All right, here's a quick question: why is it called heavy metal? And it's based on what I just said.
I don't know.
Because of Birmingham.
Yeah, I've heard this.
Birmingham was a
all right,
the steel mills and all that stuff,
right.
and
Actually,
industrial.
Tony Iommi worked in one. That's how he
cut his fingers
Yeah.
off. Yeah. So that's the whole thing. Like that's why.
I'm sure you guys
the
heard
whole
the
heavy
story
metal.
about how he went to Iommi and Ozzy went to high school together, and Iommi hated him. Absolutely hated him. Picked on him in it. So when it was coming time for them to form a band, I'm surprised you didn't hear this. But anyway, when it came time for them, Iommi's looking for a singer. And then he comes across, Ozzy's got flyers everywhere. Singer looking for a band, has own PA. right? So Iomi was.
Hello.
So Iomi's thinking this can't be the same Ozzy. It can't be.
It's gonna be another.
But he
Ozzy.
said I had to look into it because he had a PA. So he looks into it.
Yeah.
They meet up, and the only reason Ozzy got hired is because he had his own PA.
That's pretty wild.
How you
That's
rich?
nuts, right?
How you rich, man? How you get your own PA?
And Ozzy's on the record saying we were the dirt poor. I love singing, and one day, usually my dad would just get drunk and crack me. But one day, out of the blue, he comes home with a PA. Fire your dreams, son.
Wow.
Like,
yeah.
It's wild, man.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. How long do you think Ozzy is alive for after this show?
I don't.
2 years.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Within 2 years.
Yeah. Jacob was asking where we're watching. We're watching it here, man. We got it on. We have it on in the background here.
Come on, man.
You
Take
see-
a trip to Langhorne, Jake.
See the Spectrum seats behind Ryan there? We got history of those seats.
Yeah, a lot of history down that road. You don't want to be going down that road.
All right. I think,
I think we covered everything.
yeah. Michael Madsen passing away, man.
Yeah, yo.
That sucks.
Yo, man.
If
Want to
he
quit
didn't do what I specifically
told him not to do, he'd be alive
he
right
wouldn't be
now.
dead.
Yeah, Michael Madsen, man, passed away. And, as Mike's showing up as we're cutting this off.
Like he even in the Hateful Eight, he was freaking.
He
He
was
was
great
good
in
in
it, man.
everything he's in.
Yeah.
He was good in Free Willy, honestly. Like
You would have saved it well. Donnie Brasco.
You want to save a whale, huh?
that woman deserves her revenge.
This
We
performance
deserve
may
to
contain
die.
Flashing lights, images, and some adult language.
So
All right.
fucking
It was real. Corner Pub Sports. Ozzy.
And I have a new way to end the show every week now. So you guys enjoy, and we will see you guys. We will see you guys next Friday. We'll be back to a normal show. All right. See you guys.
Turn it off.
Turn it on.